Good afternoon. No problem.
We had a meeting with the school district about the parade, so we appreciate your patience.
So do we just call to order?
Yes,
Call to order, 4:52, October 17th, 2023. And pledge of allegiance. All right. Pledge allegiance.
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Vice Chair Granados,
Present.
Commissioner Caballero absent, Chairman Avila.
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Gallegos absent, and Commissioner Ayala.
Here. Now we go with the approval of the agenda
Yes,
and
we need a motion.
A motion. Can I second as well? Or no? Yeah, I second. And at this time, the commission may announce any items being pulled from the agenda or continue to another date or request the moving of an item on the agenda.
Excuse me. We need to do roll call on the
Oh, sorry.
agenda. It's okay. Vice Chair Granados,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallegos. Chair Avila.
Aye.
Commissioner Caballero absent, Chair Avila.
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallegos absent, and Commissioner Ayala.
Madam Clerk, for the record, Commissioner Ayala will be a voting member this evening.
Okay.
At this time, the commission may announce any item being pulled from the agenda or continue to another date or request the moving of an item on the agenda. We need a.
No changes to
no,
the
just-
agenda.
okay. The approval of the minutes?
A motion.
Second. Presentations?
Uh,
Oh, no.
Let me take roll
Oh,
call.
sorry.
Vice Chair Granados,
Aye.
Commissioner Caballero absent, Chair Avila.
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallegos absent, and Commissioner Ayala.
Presentations?
Yes. Jason, clicker?
We don't have one currently available. Just go ahead and say next.
First item on the agenda is, as requested by the commission during our last meeting, is an update regards to Begduma Park projects. So we do have several different things going on at Begduma Park, and I've compiled it all in this presentation. Next, please. I think the most pressing topic of discussion had to do with the lights. It's on here, but I did start out with the restrooms, which has also been a pressing topic. So I did connect with our city engineer. The engineering department is the department that is charged with delivering our capital improvement projects. And the council did allocate CDBG funding for new restrooms at Begduma Park. The location shown here is the restroom that is adjacent to the new basketball courts. And that restroom is the oldest restroom at Begduma Park. So funding was allocated to basically demo that facility and install a new facility. And the facility that will replace it is kind of similar to the one that you see above it. On the top with the tile roofing, it won't be that specific coloring, but it is the style, which is a similar style to Veterans Park, where the gates are open and it's not just individual stalls. So that it's individual stalls inside, but it's not individual rooms like we have at Begduma near Field 3. We have found that those, when they're individual use, they do get used in ways that it's not intended, primarily by homeless. So we've reverted to this style, which seems to be a little bit better with regards to the types of use it gets. So this construction schedule for this is approximately, they're purchasing the building, they're going out to RFP for the building at this time. They expect to put the RFP on the, publish it by next month. It does need to publish for 30 days and then it gets awarded based on responses and scoring. And that award is expected to occur in December. And then the building itself is ordered and there is expected to seven-ish months for the construction and delivery of that prefab building. And then the installation is anticipated to occur in summer of next year. So that is the update with regards to this restroom facility. And again, this is the replacement for the restroom facility by the basketball courts. Next slide, please. And the cost of the prior one, I want to say was around 280,000. This one is a little bit more. It also includes a concession. The cost estimate and the allocation for this new restroom facility is 322,000. And a very similar timeline because they are bidding them out together. So they are bidding both restroom facilities out together. And then installation is expected to also happen simultaneously. This is a new restroom facility that will be by fields 5 and 6, which are the fields that are close to Frederick Street. And it will also have a concession building. So a little bit different than the one that we have at Begduma right now, where the concession is attached to the restroom facility by the baseball fields. This will actually be two buildings because of the layout that we have available there due to the pump room. There will be two buildings and they will be near, obviously, field 5 and 6, but they will not be actually connected. Next slide, please. Sports field lighting for fields 1 and 2. This is also going to be CDBG funded at this time. The cost estimate is about 250,000 and construction is expected to also take place between spring to summer of next year. And next slide, please. The commission's familiar with this. You guys provided support for the installation of the tech ball tables. So we'll be working on that in probably in the coming year. We're really kind of more on event mode at this point and also doing all the rehab for the soccer field. So we did a lot of the rehab, open the fields. Then the staff will be focused on overseeing all of our soccer fields in the months of November and December and opening them back up in early January. So the tech ball tables, we did get approval from, there was recommendation from the commission and also approval from council to proceed in accepting the donation by the tech ball company that is donating 2 tables to us. So it really will be a pilot program for us to see how well they're received by the community. They'll be installed near Avenue 51 at Begduma Park, as you see there on the 2 red spots located there. So we haven't received them. We did go ahead and advise the donation letter was signed and sent back, and then we'll keep you guys posted as to when we receive them. Next slide, please. And then at the last, I want to say about 30 days ago, council did also approve installation of horseshoe pits at Begduma Park. They will be installed near Frederick Street, near the very big backside of the community center. There's a very large shade structure. In the area to the left of that, where the big red rectangle is, there's a lot of DG open space and they'll be installed there. And we're looking at doing about 3 sets. 4 to, I think actually 4 to 6, sorry. Next slide, please. I think that concludes my updates with regards to the improvements planned for Begduma Park, and I'm happy to answer questions on this item.
I have a question. You were saying maintenance on the fields, right?
Mhm.
Which of the fields what type of maintenance are they doing to them?
So they, during the month of August through early September, they aerated all of the fields. They removed all the wear pattern areas and they installed sod in all of those wear pattern areas. That was done during that first closure period that the council, that the commission and the council approved the changes to the MOU. The overseeding will happen starting in November, and then there is that maintenance period, right? So then there is extra watering that's done, and the fields are closed during that period to allow for that winter seed to take. And we also apply a mulch cover on top of the overseeds so that we ensure that the temperatures are there to germinate.
Okay, because I was looking at field one, and there is one of the goalies, there's a slope that I noticed that the pretty much the goalie is lopsided from that. So who would be the maintenance for like to try to get that aligned?
That
'Cause
would be our
Our
department.
department as
Yeah.
well too? Okay, because that's, so I'll
We can
mention
relay
that
that.
now. on
Yes.
Field one,
Field one?
yeah, correct. Guys have any questions?
No, with that, no questions? And I'll move on to the next item.
For the maintenance of the fields, that includes like of all the soccer fields, we take care of all the lighting, just for clarification, we take care of the lighting? Or do the soccer teams charge the players for lighting and the water uses? That's all the city, right?
That's correct. There's no charge to anyone for field use.
And so the
The only
teams don't
fee-
charge, the associations don't charge the team players or anything for light usage, water usage.
The-
Can they, do they?
So we don't manage the leagues. The leagues are both individual nonprofits.
Mhm.
They do have fees within each of the agencies. And I think both of them have presented to the commission and advised with regards to the registration fees. So they
remember
all have
those.
registration fees.
Mhm.
They also, I know that the approach for both leagues is that they also request funds for payment that goes to the referee
Yeah.
for the game.
Mhm.
And I know that both leagues also have fees that have to do with like yellow card, red card issues. So those are all fees that are created and managed and issued by the leagues and not by the city. The city does not charge any money for
Mhm.
any of the field usage. The only fee that we do collect is a deposit
Mhm.
that is returned after the use, and that's $100, just to ensure that like, for example, the goals and the netting and all that is
Yeah.
returned still in decent condition
Okay.
and the trash is picked up.
Okay. So we provide this, the lighting, the water, they have their separate fees, they're managed by them. Now, if they're charging fees that shouldn't be charged, that's like managed by them. We
That
have
would be
nothing to
managed
do
by
with it.
then, and that would, those would be things that their membership would need to discuss with their leadership.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And then, so also was regarding the fields. If there is, because I was over the weekend, there was a tournament, and a lot of parents were concerned about the fields being, a lot of them have, potholes still and stuff like that. Now, if they want to start like addressing each field that has this, because that could cause future injuries. I mean, I've seen people snap, multiple bones off their legs because of that. What's the best way to contact the city or, to
All of
address
the league presidents have my email, Vince's email, and they can relay that information about the condition of any field that needs to be repaired. They just need to bring that to light to us. In addition, we meet with them monthly. So when they bring that up to us, they do need to identify the location. If they just say somewhere on field X, that is very hard to identify. But if they can flag it for us in some fashion, take a identifiable picture of it, staff can go out and fill that rut.
Yeah, because I remember we had talked about that issue that about the watering, how
Yeah.
it's creating that. Okay, just so I let the parents know as well, they could address them as well. then,
Yes, if
just
the
to-
coaches can relay that to the president so that they can report it to us. If it gets reported, then we can work on addressing it.
Okay, and then I'll let them know to keep following up, so like that we have more of that addressed. Just because it's the future for our kids, so want to make sure the fields are, honestly, we do have one of the best fields in the field, so we want to keep that up.
Yeah, and we'll respond to it as quickly as we can. If we get advised of it after hours, it most likely may have to wait till Monday. But also keep in mind that some of those ruts are created either sometimes by play, but also we do have gopher issues that we try to address, but those are challenging rodents. So,
Can't get rid of mine either.
we really try and we have additional services to address them, but on field 1 and 2 is our biggest problem of that rodent. So it's a continual challenge there. Thank you.
Actually, now, since you mentioned that, field 1 and 2, is it only, I don't know, someone told me this, that it was only made for the younger kids, or is it open?
All of our
like
fields are
to-
open. So
okay.
that reference has to do with when through the years of our, our, our history essentially is that Coachella didn't have as many fields as it has
Mhm.
now. So when we had less fields, we really prioritized the fields that we did have for our youth. At this point, the MOU is very open. It does not identify what fields are used for what age group. That is determined by the league. They identify where they place their teams.
Perfect. Yeah, just some parents were asking me about that, so
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
Fully open.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on this item?
The horseshoe pit is great.
We're excited to see that come.
I
And
think we'll-
we've had a lot of requests for that, so excited to be able to bring that to Bagduma. Jason, would you be able to take me back to the presentations? Thank you. I'm gonna start on, yeah, that slide. Perfect. Next slide, please. So this next presentation is specific to the uses on field 4, and that is the field circled here. So it is the one with the stadium concrete seating near Mecca Street and Avenue 51. Next slide, please. The use as it's laid out currently in the MOU for Bagduma Field 4 is that January through May. It is used by CISA. In June and July, we generally put this field into maintenance to prepare it for American football season. In August through October, it is shared between the 2 soccer leagues and Little Arabs, which are the American Football Youth League. And in November, it is shared by CISA and the Little Arabs until we close the field for maintenance. And then November through December, it is in maintenance. So that's the current layout for the users of Field 4. Next slide, please. This slide, this presentation is very similar. We were before the commission on this topic a couple months back in July. So our some of this is very similar to what was presented then. The item that is before you, I think, has to do with the request that came from CVSL during public comment during prior meeting. So their request is for reappropriation of Bagduma Field 4 to CVSL due to additional needs for field use. And their concern is based on the fact that at Las Flores, they essentially have a total of max of 4 fields, and that is if they lay the fields out from east to west. And at Bagduma, the number of fields available there are 4 to 6. In discussions with both leagues, CISA also has identified that they have growth and they also require the fields that they have been allocated as identified in the MOU currently. CISA president advised that CVSL has, their concern with the comments made by CVSL essentially are that CVSL has teams playing at Las Flores that are not fully registered with CVSL, that they are simply travel teams that are being allowed to use the fields. That is very difficult for us as the commission knows, because both the leagues have presented the makeup of their leagues and the depth of their leagues, right? They have probably, I want to say in the range of 60 teams each. So there is no way, we do not manage the leagues. Being able to keep up with what team is on what field when. We issue the permit to the league, and they are in turn to use that facility as it's intended. We do know that both leagues have travel teams that operate within them. So this is a challenge that I think exists in both leagues, but these are the comments back from both leagues with respect to the topic that is before the commission this evening for discussion, and that is the use of Field 4. Next slide, please. When we came before you in July, we had the following recommendation, and this is kind of meet in the middle. It really is just trying to get us to a point where we would be able to reassess and reallocate without causing any challenges, especially being that we are in the middle of the kickoff season for this sport. So this sport just kicked off, I think, actually They both had their kind of opening ceremonies events already. Our recommendation was to allow for the completion of the projects that you saw presented earlier this evening, one of which would be the installation of field lighting on Field 1 and 2 at Bagduma, which is currently missing. So one of the statements that we get a lot from CISA is that although they have fields 1, 2, 5, and 6, and 3 and 4 during part of the year, 3 and 4 being, they rotate with American football season a little bit more, is that Field 1 and 2 does not have full lighting. And they are accurate in that. They do have lighting and they do get used, but they don't have all of the poles that are original to that field because of wear and tear. They had to be removed. And we had not yet had funding to be able to allocate to reinstall those. As you saw, it was a $250,000 investment that has been set aside. And that's not funding that we generally have available for projects like this. We're glad to have that be part of the CIP at this time, and those improvements will be forthcoming. But that is a comment that we get from CISA that those are not apples to apples fields because of the fact that the lighting is not at the same level as the lighting for the other fields in both Bagduma and at Las Flores, for example. So staff's recommendation is that we would reevaluate reallocation of field use once those improvements have been installed, and you can compare all of the fields as equal assets. At this time, per the MOU, CISA has access to fields 1, 2, 5, and 6, and 3 and 4 for part of the year. So the statement, as I just reiterate, is essentially they don't view 1 and 2 to be fully equal to, for example, 5 and 6. So they would not qualify those as the same quality of a field. And CVSL's response is that they have only 4 fields, whereas CISA has 6, right? Those are the two arguments here. I think it will be very challenging to reallocate in the middle of a season, but this topic is before you so that you can hear the comments. I know we have several members of both of the organizations here, and they'll provide their comments probably on this topic. And I'm happy to answer any questions as a result of some of that conversation and any questions you may have now.
So to clarify,
Mhm.
even though fields 1 and 2 don't have full lighting,
Mhm.
CISA is still using them. They are still practicing on them. Even though they're still not full lighting, they are still using the field.
They're still using the field, and
Okay.
I think the challenge is that they, for games, it is not very useful in that session.
So my follow-up question is, do they use those 2 fields for games or no?
From time to time, I think they do, but it's not ideal.
But they still use it.
Mhm.
Even though there's not full lighting, they still practice and they still have games in them
Right.
still.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, to be honest, this sometimes is a little bit more of a complicated for me because I do have both my kids playing in both leagues. But honestly, field 1 and 2, to me, they're similar to play like anyone else. I just want to be fair to everybody. So to me, honestly, field 1 and 2 are playable. My kid plays at night. I mean, I don't have an issue. I mean, the lighting is not the best, but it's still physical, very playable field. I mean, I welcome you. I mean, pretty sure most of you guys have gone there. Honestly, the last couple months, I spent a lot of my time there. So I just want to be fair to everybody. And because I don't want later on to anyone say anything else, I just want to be fair, making sure, honestly, 1 and 2 are very, very playable fields. They require some maintenance due to the fact that there is, the holes and stuff like that. But lighting issues, I don't think there's a big issue. I mean, they're still very playable. Just, just to let you guys know on that side, just because I'm talking to them, I'm more involved than they are in the fields. But,
And your kids are playing on them.
yeah, and my kid plays on them. And you hear from me all the time when there's any issues with the fields and stuff like that as well. I'm very active. I mean, just to me, it is, I just want to be equal to everybody across the board. You guys have any other questions? No?
Any public comment on this item, Delia?
I have 2 public comments, but it doesn't say that it's on a specific item. So we have a comment from Ricardo Valencia.
Is it for this item? Okay.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Valencia. Hello, members. Hello, everybody. It's gonna be a little confusing, but I know I have friends that are in these clubs and they're joining other leagues, to use the fields. I want to make it easy and, break it down. This paper here shows you their club, their teams on here. You guys are welcome to pass it around, just so you guys see what their clubs and their teams are. As you can see, it has their name on there and it has their clubs, right? On this paper here, it actually belongs to a friend of mine. His club has nothing to do with them, but if you see here, there's a venues where they play. They play either at 53 or Rancho Las Flores. And same thing, you guys can look at it. I might get in trouble because all these are my friends, but it's just, the way you guys are gonna know who's playing on what fields when she says that maybe we don't know. This one belongs to one of my best friends. Same thing, venues here, Rancho Las Flores and 53. Something that has nothing to do with them because it's not in their, okay? This one right here is the biggest one. This club here came from Palm Desert. They used to have their own fields. It's a big club. If you can see here, they have a lot of teams, but still has nothing to do with them. Still playing on Rancho Las Flores and 53. That's why they're asking for more fields, not because they have more teams. No, because they're allowing other people to use it when they had their own fields. Why did they lose their fields? That's the problem. You guys can see here again. Going back to what you guys were saying about all these fields usage, it's hard. See this right here? This is me. And if you guys see right here, it says FC Juarez Academy, and underneath it's a CISA. This is a UPSL team that I joined. Why is it named CISA? Because it's a women's team and it's based out of Coachella. Why is it under Bravos? Because you have to have a $10,000 bond. Do we have it? No, we don't. That's why we play here. And if you see, it says CISA. It doesn't just say Bravos, it has CISA. And I've been playing with them. This is my second season. I tried to use field 3, Rancho Las Flores about 2 weeks ago, Vincent. Is that correct? And I couldn't use it because on the MOU it says it belongs to the other league, right? So therefore, I had to move my game to another city because we didn't have fields that had requirements on the measurements and all that. And I was able to use Rancho Las Flores, but I wasn't allowed to use. So I had to go to another city. We do share fields and everything. When they came and they asked for more fields a while back, they were given 3 and 4 from Avenue 53. Now they're asking for more fields. I mean, it's what's fair is fair. What's honest, it's honest. I know these clubs belongs to my friends, but you know what? It needs to be said. I came here in a meeting. I said it. I'm saying it again. Maybe right now they're going to be pissed off at me, but you know what it is, it is. I mean, there's nothing we can change. It's on paper and it's right there. Am I lying? No, it's on paper. Like he said it, fields 1 and 2, yeah, they're great. But weren't they just in maintenance not too long ago? And they already need maintenance again? So we could just put a little bit more attention when we do our maintenance. I don't think we'd have the issues that he's talking about. Why close them for so long? And then we can't even use them because they're not well maintained. If you go there Thursday morning when they're cutting the grass, they're only cutting the tips. But it's long enough where the kids can barely run. If we cut those fields the right way, I think they'll actually be better. And we'll be able to see those potholes that we can't see. Why? Because the grass is so high. You guys are paying for maintenance, so I think that the fields need to get the correct maintenance. Watering is the other issue. We already brought it to your attention. Sometimes we can't use field 3. Why? Because it has too much water. I mean, what is fair is fair. Why the leagues charge money? Because when we do events, like the ones we just did Sunday, a lot of that is free. We give a lot of free stuff for the kids, even free food. We give soccer balls, shirts, whatever you say, we give it out. The tournament that every team joined was free. None of them was charged nothing. The championship got a trophy, but nobody was charged nothing. That was also free. So $40 for the whole year, I don't think it's expensive. And it has nothing to do with lining or maintenance. Thank you.
We have the next speaker, Alma Aceves. Thanks. And you're here to speak on this item?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Alma Cebes, presidente de la Liga CISA Coachella US Sport Association. Disculpen, voy a hablar español, el inglés, mi inglés es muy bajo.
Adelante.
No, está bien, en español está bien.
Bueno, yo sinceramente he estado ya 15 años aquí, un tiempo, duramos como 6 años. La ciudad de Coachella nos dio ese privilegio de estar nosotros nada más. No habíamos tenido problemas. Yo siempre respeté que en otros clubes que no llevaran CISA no se metieran a la liga. El respeto, yo digo que es porque somos muchos aquí en Coachella. Si las dos ligas nos ponemos de acuerdo a que trabajemos con la propia comunidad de Coachella, también hay equipos de fuera porque es la competencia. Yo creo que sería mucho mejor. Campos, el 1 y el 2 están a media luz. Antes cuando nos cobraban campos, Marisa nos lo daba a mitad de precio porque no estaba completo. Decía, esos campos nomás te voy a cobrar la mitad. Ya tenemos como 6, 7 años pidiéndoles los baños. Ya afortunadamente ya hay un plan. Ya también ayer dijo Steve Hernández en el evento que tuvimos el domingo ahí en el Bactumal, que ya estaba ese proyecto, pues bastante bien. Porque siempre hemos venido a decir que ha pasado muchos incidentes de niños que se hacen a medio camino, mamás que están embarazadas, en fin. Pero yo creo que el tema ahorita es de que nosotros siempre hemos estado en el Bactumal, pero hasta ahorita hemos trabajado con pura gente de nuestra liga, de nuestro club. El club tenemos nada más 5, porque todos decidieron abrirse a otro club. Razón no sé. Pero aquí nosotros lo único que cobramos es lo que cobra la costa. Y yo lo único que les decía, ok, si los proporcionamos campos, acá tienen que llamarse CISA Draco o CISA FCA. No lo aceptaron. Fueron al otro lado y ahí sí los aceptaron. Entonces, si mis respetos a la otra liga, yo sé el trabajo que es para tener una liga, pero si nos ponemos de acuerdo, yo creo que no faltan campos. Yo creo que suficientes para las dos ligas, trabajando juntos. No sé, nosotros siempre hemos tenido el 4. Para mí es mucho mejor que el 1 y el 2, porque el 1 y el 2 ya tenemos como 7 años batallando con ellos, que no están las luces, como dicen. De todas maneras juegan, sí, pero renegando los equipos, porque no se ven las líneas, los árbitros se enojan, en fin, hay problemas. Pero yo creo que si ponemos de acuerdo a trabajar las dos ligas, yo estoy dispuesta a trabajar, pero siempre y cuando se nos haga igualdad a las dos ligas. Porque en un caso dado, pues ya tenemos que hablar un poquito más arriba porque no hay igualdad. Y nosotros queremos igualdad. Como ahorita que se nos están quitando campos y otros clubes los vienen a utilizar, pues no me parece justo. Gracias.
Gracias.
We have one more speaker, Manuel Montano.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Manuel Montaño, presidente de CBSO. Contestando lo que estaba diciendo Marisa ahorita, que en Rancho de las Flores se pueden hacer cuatro campos. Déjame decirle que esa vez que lo hicimos por necesidad. Y lo hicimos los campos, lo que es el mínimo que se debe hacer para jugar fútbol. Estaba muy pegado, tenemos fotos, tenemos todo. Ustedes me conocen, nunca he venido a pelear aquí nada. Como dice la señora Alma Cebes, venimos a pedir igualdad. Lo único que pido es la cancha 4, no pido nada más para estar en un balance muy bien. Nosotros tenemos 3 canchas, es lo único, nunca he tocado otro tema, nunca he tocado el tema de CISA, nunca nada. Me he parado para pedir para lo que es la Liga CBSO, una cancha más. No creo que es mucho problema eso. Pero eso que dice Marisa ahorita que 4 canchas en el Rancho de las Flores, la invito para que ella con nosotros la miramos y si caben las 4 canchas. En ese momento, hace 2 años, compramos las porterías, nos valieron $6,800 las porterías. Marisa sabe el costo de porterías. Esas porterías las estamos usando ahorita en la 53 en el campo 4, pero es el costo de las porterías que valen para que jueguen los adultos. Es el costo que da la portería. Contestándole a Ricardo, es mi amigo también, lo respeto. Le hemos ayudado en su club. Y cuando él tiene las puertas abiertas, tiene mi teléfono, cuando ocupe jugar, que me hable, le doy el espacio. Le damos el espacio, estamos para apoyar. La comunidad no nomás es CISA o ese CBSO. La comunidad son todos los clubes que están o los que no están, el béisbol, el fútbol americano, con todos trabajamos. Esa es la comunidad. La comunidad no es una sola liga, no soy yo, no es ella. La comunidad es todos los que vienen a jugar fútbol, que vienen de North Shore, vienen de Salto Sí, vienen todos. Esa es la comunidad. La comunidad no es nomás una sola liga. No es ella, no soy yo, no es CISA, no es CBSO. La comunidad es todo. Involucran a todos. Todo esa es la comunidad. Si yo los invité, hechos una vuelta a Rancho de las Flores para que mires cómo estamos hechos bolas. Vayan y miren. ¿Con cuándo me he quejado? ¿Cuándo he venido a quejarme? Nunca vengo, me quejo. Una sola cancha vengo y les digo que nomás una sola cancha. ¿No quieren el 4? Otra cancha, el 3. ¿No quieren el 3? Buscamos una solución. Una sola cancha. Una. Es lo que les pido. No le estoy pidiendo ni 2 ni 3. Una. Es todo. Para trabajar unidos, eso necesitaríamos nosotros juntarnos afuera y hablar. Que nunca lo hemos hecho. Que necesitamos, si ella quiere trabajar conmigo, trabajamos. ¿Entienden? Es todo lo que tengo que decir. Muchas gracias por su atención.
Gracias.
Okay, we have Marco Zamudio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marco Zamudio, and I'm the Vice President to the CVSL. I'm just here to, I'm just here to try to ask for those days of community that you guys have implemented. Let you guys know that it's affecting us, and I'm pretty sure it's affecting the other league. I'm not here to fight with the other league or dispute anything. But I know it's affecting both leagues, and 3 days of community for all 3 fields. I think it's a little bit too much. And to say that we ain't growing, yes, we are, because last year we only had 30 teams combined on the youth. Right now, we're barely starting. We have 45 in all categories. The females, we're growing. We added, we had 7 teams. We used to have 5 or 6. We're adding little by little. On the adults, we have 3 divisions, and this year, we have total 38 teams combined, that we didn't have last year or the year before that. We are growing. And if you guys take the chance to go out there to those 3 fields that we have, we have 3 regular size fields. We have to make all kinds of miracles, to be able to put all these teams on a Saturdays or the days that we are only allowed to play, that are not community, that are league games. I have to, and field 1, I had to put like 4 different sizes of fields for 4 different divisions, very limited in the middle for the parents to be watching their kids' games, 10 feet just to where you can put the canopy, the 10 by 10, because we think about the future when, the summer comes around, those hot days, they need to put a canopy there. All I'm asking is, like Manuel said, we're asking for another field, so that we can breathe a little bit more in those fields, so we can have bigger spaces, we're crumbed up in there, and now talking about what Ricardo was saying, that we have other clubs coming in to our league to say that we're growing, but they have nothing to do with our league. That's wrong. That's wrong, because he doesn't know how we're doing our stuff, how we running our league, and he doesn't have the slightest idea. Those clubs participate in our league during the regular seasons, and they play in our league. They contribute, to our league. So when they ask us, you know what, and when we play for the coast, would you help us out with soccer fields? Because they go somewhere else, they go to her league, CISA league, she's gonna charge them. She's gonna charge them $400 to $500 to play. We don't. All we ask is you join our league, contribute. That's it. We're gonna help you. You're gonna be part of our league. So those teams are part of our league. They are, and like I said, they don't know anything about our league, because I'm not here to say, well, their league is this, their league is that, because I don't know nothing. I have no clue of how they run their league. There's a CSL, the Coast Soccer League app, and you can go in there, you create an account, you can go in there and you can find her league, her club, and all the teams that are registered under her name, under the CISA name. And you'll see how many teams in reality they have registered in the Coast. You can go in our CBSL and you'll find out how many teams we have in there. There's no secrets. There's no, we're being transparent here. I'm not making up stuff, so like I said, I'm here to ask if maybe we can work something out with those community days, because we are growing, and this is only the beginning. I don't know what seems to be the problem with the other league for us growing, but whatever it is that we're doing, I guess we're doing something right, so that we're drawing teams, and they're happy. I can give you an example of, there's teams that gone to our fields out there on the days that we're out there practicing or having games. They go out there and practice. Do we kick them off the field? No, we don't, because we don't have that right. It's those fields for everybody, especially because it's all kids, and we allow them, and guess what they say? Oh, if I go to Bacduma, they kick me out because I need to be paid to be order to practice on those fields. We don't pay. You participate in our league, you ain't gonna be paying extra for using the fields and practicing and training your kids, your players, and making them develop their soccer skills. We don't do that. We only charge for our registration, which is $35, and that's it. That's all we do. And we manage, how we handle our money. So to say here that we're not growing, yes, we are. We are growing. So, like I said, all I ask is help us out, see if there's anything we can do, on those community days, because like I said, it is affecting us as a league, and I know it is affecting them as well, So, like I said, I don't want, everything for my league, because I know that they do the same thing we're doing. They're doing it for the community, they're doing it for the youth and everything. And so are we, like Alma says, we can work together, but it's one thing is to say it here, in front of all of you guys, but when we walk out this door, it's totally different. It's totally different, So I'll leave it at that. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next comment is Eduardo Ortega.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Eduardo Ortega. Pertenezco a la Liga de Coachella, al fútbol más que nada. Solamente tengo una observación. Yo ya se la hice ver a varios de la ciudad. En la Rancho Las Flores no entiendo por qué toda la parte de atrás de las porterías pusieron agaves. Y no se imagina la cantidad de balones que se han ponchado ahí. Yo ya hice el request, ya pedí, me dijeron que iban a ver y los agaves siguen ahí. Para los que tengan ese control o quieren que nosotros lleguemos con un machete y lo cortemos, no hay problema, lo podemos hacer. Pero para mí se me hace algo incoherente poner agaves que tienen espinas grandes, andan niños ahí corriendo y para los balones detrás de las porterías. Y sobre el tema este de los campos, como dijo el señor Montaño, en el campo del Rancho Las Flores solamente son 3 campos, no son 4. Ustedes pueden ir a ver, se han marcado 4 campos para los niños en el campo número 1, los otros 2 se han dejado para comunidad. Y como dicen, la liga está creciendo, yo lo he visto crecer y se ocupa otro campo o más, dependiendo si ustedes pueden. Ustedes pueden ir a ver, después de las 8 de la noche ya no hay nadie practicando como en los días comunitarios, entonces creo que ahí será una buena idea. Y sobre costos y modos de que se juegan las ligas, eso es a cada liga, solamente como dicen aquí en la liga de Coachella, en CBSL, no se cobra más que $35 por año y de allí ustedes pueden ir a ver los trofeos y los regalos, los premios que se le otorga a los niños, la diferencia sin hablar, pero aquí no se cobra registro de equipo, para nada, solamente $35 por niño o por adulto y es todo, por el año, no se cobra nada más extra. Es todo, gracias. Gracias.
Next speaker is Jorge Sánchez.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Jorge Sánchez. Tal vez todo el mundo me conoce, todos. Y yo hace más de 20 años. Tengo más de 20 años en el fútbol aquí en Coachella. Fui presidente de la liga de Coachella Valley Desert Soccer League algunos años atrás. Estuve involucrado en el fútbol y sigo involucrado en el fútbol. Yo lo único que les pido a ustedes, los que se encargan de administrar los parques, que se acuerden de los adultos también. Yo sé que la prioridad es los niños. Todo el tiempo es los niños y yo estoy de acuerdo. Pero los adultos también tenemos derecho a jugar en canchas que estén en buen estado, que estén en buenas luces y a veces sabemos, pues ya gente que no miramos bien también, ¿verdad? Entonces, yo en lo personal no me importa los precios que cobren las ligas, ni una ni otra. Hablan de dinero, pero si yo soy de los que dice, si en mi casa nada más tengo capacidad para que vivan 5 personas, ¿por qué voy a meter 10? Si en mi terreno que tengo asignado puedo poner 30 equipos, ¿por qué quiero meter 60? Si me voy a acabar los parques y los campos bien rápido, y eso lo sabemos todos, que un parque, entre más uso tenga, más rápido se destruye. Entonces, yo creo que debemos, si tenemos capacidad para cierta cantidad de jugadores, debemos de aceptar esa capacidad de cierta cantidad de jugadores. Yo trabajo con la liga, con doña Alma, y siempre yo me enojo con ella y me peleo con ella. ¿Por qué tantos equipos aquí? Si no tenemos capacidad, si nada más tenemos en tal parque, tal campo, tanta capacidad en el Bacduma número 2, no se puede jugar. ¿Por qué? Porque la luz está romántica, a media luz nada más. Entonces, el campo 1, más o menos, el campo 2, si nos venimos del lado del parqueadero, se mira una parte y otra parte no, y a veces los árbitros no miran y se golpean los niños, van y reclaman. Entonces, yo creo que todo eso tienen que tenerlo en cuenta ustedes también, ¿verdad? De que debemos de tener la capacidad, cuando la ciudad tenga más campos, más capacidad, entonces invitamos gente de todo el mundo a jugar aquí a la ciudad de Coachella. Si vamos a la ciudad de Indio a entrenar, que llegan los de Indio y nos dicen, vámonos, váyanse para su casa. En la Quinta, ¿qué les hicieron a muchos clubes? Tú no eres de aquí, vámonos. Entonces, debemos de fijarnos en todo eso, en que si estamos con una capacidad limitada, pues aceptemos nuestra capacidad limitada para que todo el mundo esté a gusto, para que todo el mundo pueda practicar, para que todo el mundo pueda jugar a gusto. Y yo por lo que abogo es por los adultos, porque deben de tener campos en buenas condiciones para jugar fútbol, no como el 1 y en el 2 que se miran a la mitad. Gracias, señores.
If we have any comments on Zoom, please raise your hand.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Robert excuse me, Robert Caballero here, speaking as a resident in Coachella. I just want to, as I listen, yes, we have so many challenges here, but also I hear so much passion for the sport of soccer. And the fact that we have a plan in place for the next year and 2 years, is good, right? And if we can shorten that up and make it where it's fair for everyone to be able to play, that's even better. But the fact that all the organizations are here or there and they're willing to communicate, that's going to be probably the most important thing, right? Is communication between the organizations. But again, I'm excited to see what the next 5 to 10 to 15 years look like for Coachella and soccer. But yeah, those are my comments.
Thank you.
Any other comments on Zoom? Please raise hand.
There are no more.
We can move to,
So at this point, this was a discussion item. I don't know if the commission would like to provide any additional comments. This is not an action item. If it is the direction of the commission that you would like to direct staff in any fashion, this would be the time to do it on this item. Again, this is an update, is a presentation item.
I do have some quick questions regarding, so these, I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna get these answered, just because I know we have.
So you can direct, just to clarify, so we don't have any Brown Act violations here. So you can direct questions to me and I can answer them to the best of my ability tonight. And if I cannot, then we will provide you those answers separately. But we cannot entertain interaction between the public and yourselves
Okay.
back and forth. That would be a violation of.
Okay. So it's regarding these other leagues playing at Rancho Las Flores. Now, to me will be, are they somehow involved as in like in the league? Like, are they some part of the league? Do they play against teams against the league? Because that would then definitely change completely my view of these not being outside because they're playing the league, like one of the leagues, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
So if they are outside teams, but they play against the league's
Yeah.
teams, then I understood, I've always interpreted that to be,
Yeah.
well, that's part of.
That's part of the
league's
league,
operation.
right?
Yeah.
As long
Right.
as I think I
I don't think
see
that
that.
that's what's being
No.
stated, though. I think what's being stated and what was presented is that those listings
Mm.
are listings of other teams and they're
So
listing their home field as
As-
Las Flores.
Yeah.
So now they're their own league, right? Now, if
Both-
this. oh,
Both
sorry.
leagues, though, do have travel teams within them. So that's why it's very hard for us to validate as staff. Like, okay, does that mean it's being subleased or does that just mean that that team sometimes plays against other teams of that league and they use Las Flores?
Yeah, 'cause, I think if
or
I.
Zagzuma, not playing.
If I
Exactly.
see it that we're like one of the leagues actually, if this other the Rancho Las Flores league goes back into restructuring their what's it called, their nonprofit, into adding somehow this other league, then to me now it's different because now it's part of the league as well too. That's the way I see it. If there's a contract within that, it's part of the league. Like if they are able to get players and I don't, it's if they're able to get players from, let's say, this one league to go this other league to go travel, like then to me it's like a whole league together. A little hard to explain it the way I'm thinking it, but I think if I see that, then to me it'll be a little different. But then as well, is it an outside league completely different? Then there is a little bit of that's something that I would like to see a little bit different. But as well too, regarding Field 4, I see that this has been an issue since I started, and this has probably gone for what, 2-3 years, maybe less, but it's been a big issue. I mean, we all dealt with it. It's coming down to where I'm just going into maybe Field 4 divided between 3 leagues, which is the football and the Rancho Las Flores and the seesaw. divided
That's what we're
halfway.
doing now.
No,
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be real honest, that did not work out well, and I think that they will contest to that today.
but
if
is
we
it
needed them
because
to.
they were not agreeing or was
It's too
it?
many people on one facility? That is way too many players on one piece of land. It
No.
doesn't work out well.
No, but I'm thinking, say, I'm just gonna go from January through May, it's one league. From this month, it's another league. From this, so like that, there is no, that month belongs to that league. That will
could work, but
be,
keep in mind, so American football season goes from July until November. So then that would mean that for those, that's almost 5 months.
Yeah.
Then we would not give it to anyone else. And
If-
then that
if
takes
they-
that almost out of commission for half of the soccer season.
yeah, because I think honestly, we're all adults here and there's something that they have to come to an agreement if they want to use it. We are adults. We had to deal with this at one point as well, but it's just getting too out of hand fighting for one field that it gets to a point that I'm just gonna be like, you know what, it's just gonna be football. I mean, I will go that route just because we're adults. We're supposed to come this to an agreement as adults. But it looks like sometimes we're just childs and we're just being childish of fighting for one field. But I really want to see all this work out, and I honestly can't wait to get more fields. Because this will hopefully resolve some of the issues that we're having now. But it seems like it's been a going on thing for a while now. But I mean, it's a little complicated at the moment.
Yeah, so the history on this one, you alluded to it, so just for everyone's sake, I think that we had conversations about Field 4 before, but it was, we were able to make the request met by then separating the lease at Armtech to then be shared. So that accommodated the increase at that time, and that was probably about 2 years ago at this
Yeah.
point. So then that accommodated the request that came before the commission at that time regarding additional field use, because they acquired 2 more fields, and that was alluded to, I think, in some of the comments made. So at this point, they're coming back and they're asking for an additional field, which I think everyone understands,
Mhm.
the equity request essentially before us. But that is essentially just historically, right? So there has been additional fields provided in the past.
Yeah, because I know those fields can't be really used at nighttime due to there's no
Correct.
lighting, right? So it's mostly a weekend type of league.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that I know about that field. I've gone through it a couple times. It's honestly, it does require a lot of money, and it's from the own leagues that have to reconstruct because it's not the best field in the world. So and I know for that's only a weekend thing, which is Saturday and Sunday. But I mean, I wish honestly we could do this all, if they could get together, come to some kind of agreement. I mean, that will definitely make everyone's life a little easy when it comes to this stuff. But right now,
Bless you. Thank you.
I don't even know where to stand completely at the moment. I just blanked out right now. Sorry about that. You guys have any questions?
I think you covered it all. I mean, looking at it, it seems like it's a very complex issue. And I think the one thing that really just comes to mind is the question of how to regulate the use of the fields. And it's what you were saying in regards to the teams coming and who gets to play, who doesn't. And from what I understood, Maritza, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't regulate that. That's them because of the leagues that they're in and the travel teams. Like, we don't regulate who comes and plays, correct?
We do not. We
Yeah,
do not
okay.
monitor what
Yeah,
teams are
that's
playing at what time.
Correct, yeah. So, yeah, I agree with your statement in regards to I think both of them have voiced coming together. Let's come together and work something out, meet actually in person. I think at the end of the day, we all want the community to come together, the kids, the adults. So yeah, I agree with that statement. I did have a question though in regards to maintenance of the grass. Someone did bring up the height of the grass not being cut low enough and all that. I do understand that issue. So is there a way for us to, I know with a real mower, you can bring it all the way down to, and I know these fields don't get cut with the real mower because it's bigger equipment, but I know with a real mower, they lower it all the way down so that it's all the way to the ground so that you are able to see it. Is there a way with the equipment that we have? So where they bring it down a level more or?
We can discuss that with our maintenance.
Perfect. Thank you.
I don't know that we'll be able to bring it down all the way, because then at that point, you're also.
But a little bit
You're gonna
more.
impact the
Yeah.
wear on the fields essentially. So
Yeah.
we will find a middle ground though.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Can we get a schedule of when it gets cut in water by any chance?
So it gets mowed weekly.
Weekly?
It gets mowed weekly. The watering is done at night. It usually starts actually now closer to 11 because we've allowed play almost till 10:30. But it gets, watering schedule starts at 11. It depends on the season. And during the summer, it is very hard for us to get enough water down. It's a constant battle because the leagues and the community are on the field every single day. So if we had the ability to have days where there was no play on the field, then we would be able to saturate the field the following day, like that evening, right? So that the next day there's no play but we don't have that capacity. So it is a constant challenge because if you don't get enough water down, essentially you're gonna lose grass.
Yeah, and I've been there during summer and
So
it's-
that is a
yeah.
constant challenge. And right now we are in between seasons. So like this week, it's 102 this week. Next week, it's going to 75. So bear with us. We are adjusting the watering as we can, but we are also, we're still aware of what the weather is kind of
Yeah.
flip-flopping on us a little bit right now.
I think that's also a point of growth and opportunity where the community could maybe understand. Maybe one day we don't get to use it at all, so that we have better fields, we have better areas to play. I think that's a point of growth that we can all work on. Awesome. Thank you.
So glad to hear that. I think we're all on the same page on wanting to resolve this long issue that we've been hearing about these field usages, and finally good to see that we got something going for fields 1 and 2, something we've been asking about for a while. So, I mean, yeah, this whole here opened a lot of questions, muchos comentarios buenos que ahora nos tienen pensando qué hacer, ¿no? Cómo resolver esta cosa. Y pues, no sé si haya una forma o un cierto régimen de que podemos seguir o que cierto campo uso para ciertas personas, ¿no? Pero es algo que sí, creo que sí puede resolverse, y más como hablaron los dos, gracias, que quieren trabajar juntos para resolver este problema. A mí mucho lo que me saltó, o sea, yo tengo ya muchísimos años que ya no he jugado en las ligas de fútbol, años, no tengo hijos, así que no estoy bien, así que digamos metido allí en lo que es las ligas, ¿no? Pero comprendo cuando vienen de lejos a jugar y participar. Para mí sería, no sé, el uso de los campos, a quién se los estamos prefiriendo el uso, ¿no? Si para la comunidad, o usted también hizo buen comentario que la comunidad es todos los que juegan fútbol. Entonces, no sé, me deja algo como, no sé si es algo que pudiéramos sentarnos nosotros aparte without violating any Brown Act issues to talk about or something like that.
I don't think that we would be able to do that. What I am hearing from the commission, if I may, is I'm hearing that the commission would like us to meet with the 2 leagues and see if they can come to an agreement.
Yes.
And we can bring that back to the commission at the
I like
next
that.
meeting. We can meet with them together and see if they can come up to some middle ground. I am kind of writing down some options that we can discuss with them. And we can bring back what their response was to some of those options.
I'd like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yes, just definitely that'd be great.
So we do meet with them monthly, but I do think that hearing everyone's testimony this evening will help us further that dialogue. And I appreciate the commission so much for your commitment to the parks.
Because the other parks, there was another, I'm trying to recall right now, off the top of my head. There was another place that we're gonna build a park, right? Is it Ponderosa?
Yes.
No.
So the city did receive a $8 million grant. I'd like to give you an update on that next month because there's been some changes on that, but we did receive an $8 million grant that will construct new park land. So we can provide you an update once I have some more information back from the state. They recently provided some correspondence that may change some of where it will be built.
Okay, yeah, just because I think that will also help if we have position to build another, maybe 2 soccer fields additional. Because also we don't want to saturate with too many soccer fields when we have additional sports growing in the valley as well. Because I think that's one thing that I get questioned a lot is, hey, how come we don't have maybe more basketball, more this, more that? And it's always all soccer. Yes, we love soccer, but as well too, we got to think about other people that play other sports, you know, and I think that's, you know, something to be added instead of just saturating it with just soccer fields.
We will keep that in mind, and I do believe that it will also be based on a lot of the community outreach that we've done. So with each of the state grants, they require a lot of community outreach, and we will base what the features will be with some of that feedback.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I just got a quick comment. I would like to see the league leaders come together before we come together with them. To see if they could somehow come to an agreement. And if you can't, then I think that's when we should meet with them. To try to mediate.
Makes it easier.
I agree with that statement.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Best statement of the night.
That's for last.
Now, do we move up to the following? So new business calendar, which is none?
None.
Do we have to do a,
Mhm.
no? Okay. And then we go to public comments.
Do we have any more public comment? guys?
No,
No more no additional comment on online?
none.
So now do we move to reports and requests, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Reports and requests, any commissioner comments?
Nope.
Pretty sure we are.
We all said what you need to say. You said our
I think we all
piece.
said, yeah, we all said, it was pretty much, I think it's one of those that it's been involved, the soccer fields a lot. Oh, actually, I was actually talking to them before I got here. I actually do have a comment now. Regarding the restrooms, I did had a conversation with the mayor of Indio regarding what they're doing with the restrooms, you know, with the homeless situation and stuff like that. He came to an agreement, not an agreement, but a solution, but I don't think maybe might work as well for us due to the fact that they know the homeless people that actually are in those parks, like at Miles Park, they hang out, they kind of know because that's pretty much their home. So they were gonna do it. You don't maintain them these restrooms, maybe, you know, we're gonna shut them down. But then I feel like us, if we do that, it gets worse because now we're gonna have issues
public is just that.
outside and stuff like that. But I think if, you know, I said, maybe if we could try to find a solution to, you know, help, you know, keep those restrooms clean. Or figured out something with those restrooms. I know it's been a constant issue and I think it's probably is never gonna be ending, but you know, if we could find something to have them more clean and I think has a door been replaced on the one in Rancho Los Flores or no?
I know that we did order it.
Yeah.
So some of the things is, you know, there are parts that are ordered and there's
Yeah.
delay, and that
Yeah.
specific door is a specific, like, there's a manufacturer to that.
Yeah.
So I know that there was a delay.
Yeah, because I remember I was there a while ago and I seen a parent like with a towel while the kid goes to the restroom, you know. But okay, that's the questions I have. And Public Works Director comments.
The only comments I wanted to provide is just a reminder, I believe 2 of our commissioners have not done the Brown Act training. So the link has been renewed and I will resend it, but if you guys can take that training, I have 2 that are left. And then this weekend, we do have the Tacos, Tequilas and Chavelas Festival, so inviting everyone to come out to that. It is on Saturday at Veterans Park and it runs from 4 to 8. And if you buy a ticket, you get to taste up to 12 tacos, actually 13. We have 13 taco vendors that we're celebrating. And then we have Run with Los Muertos coming up. So for anyone that is interested in participating in the 5K, and we also have the block party that runs with that, and that is on November 5th. Here. I think it's 5th.
Good, this is Saturday. Is that on
Yes.
Saturday?
Yep. Yeah, it's the 5th. And then we have also on November 11th, we have 2 events, Veterans Pancake Breakfast at Veterans Park and Synergy at Dateland Park. So we welcome everyone out to that. And then for anyone listening, we will also have our holiday parade application up this week for those that want to submit their entries. So we hope you are interested. A lot of you guys actually here usually submit, so we welcome them.
Synergy. What's
It's like a music
Mini
festival.
Coachella Fest.
Mini Coachella Fest? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I heard it, but never really attended to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
and
have
that's
food
it.
vendors and music. That's it.
That's it. So we adjourn this meeting at 6:01.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Gracias a todos.
Here, you want a copy of this?